the thing is, like, I'm trying to do a research project that gives me some solid data on the age of the hams, right? And I want to see how old every amateur radio licensee is. I don't want to know like exactly your age. I just want to have a list of ages. Like I don't care, well, age and like license class and license grant date. And that will tell me so many things about like the state of the hobby in terms of whether or not we're going to have hobby to go home to, in 20 or 30 years or 40 or 10 years, whoever, whatever. But I mean, the best we've got right now is N8 RMA, like the state of the hobby. State of the hobby. Dustin does a yearly survey. It's very, very well done. Like, I can't wait for this year's. Coming shortly. Coming soon. And it's like one of the first questions. So this is the beep. This is the let me get rid of cameras. This is the age distribution of his survey takers, which is there's 3,100 survey takers on his survey. 3,700 actually. 3,786 unique responses. And this is their age, which is not surprising. And also, yeah, I get it. There's no flippin' legend, but for the sake of argument, this is a little and this is a lot. But my problem is, if you look at this and you take a snapshot of this every year for the last, like, say, 10 years, it'd be more clear if it was like 30 years. Does this like top part, like, does that go lower? Like, or has this like kind of surged and then it's kind of moved to the right as time progressed, and now like they're at the end, and once it goes farther to the right, these groups will just slough off, and then you're left with like these, and then whatever we have coming up in the buns in the oven and whatnot, if you know what I'm saying. So I could not write a script to query the FCC database because they don't have age as a part of the FCC database. They do have, and they don't record it on your CORS application. So if you go to FCC CORS, that's where you get a FRN, and then you get a license from that. So like, age is not on here, but they do have well, I think I hit the wrong button. An individual. If you have a social security number, you enter it here. It's not required, but generally, when I did it, I think maybe it is required, but I don't know. Why is my wife texting me? Oh, she's already landed. What am I trying to say? So, like, yeah, they have social security numbers, but there's no way a FOIA request is going to get me the social security numbers of 700,000 hams, or probably less than that, since a lot of American hams are actually foreign. And there's also no way in this government, and maybe even in the Democratic government, any government, that will have the FCC send a bunch of social security numbers to the social security number office, and then have them, figure out an age, and then send that to me or anybody, because that's a lot of work, and that would cost a lot of money and time, and simply just don't have that. Right. So that's just like what I was thinking today. I was listening to a podcast, the Worst Day Ever podcast, which is like a left-leaning, not really leaning, but just like they're leaning to the side of this year is going to suck because politics. But occasionally they do. They actually did a thing on like the parallels of the furry community, who like have a fursona. They dress up in fursuits and they all go to like a convention and they do this. And I won't get into details, but there was there was a chemical attack, and they basically use that as kind of a wow. Even like politics are infecting some of the most like partisan politics, if you will, are infecting some of the most like. I mean, these people are loving, like they love each other. Like they literally go do these things to like express their amount of just community and happiness. I don't know what, you have to listen to it. Worst day ever podcast. Worst year ever. Not worst day ever. Come on, Apple. You're faster than this. And so the most recent one was how to do FOIA requests. And they had somebody on doing exactly that. Why is apple.com just not working? How to use FOIA requests to destroy the government. That's a tongue-in-cheek. Like, you know, it's not really, they're not trying to destroy the government. But they have Clint Klippenstein, who's a FOIA nerd. Who does myriad of FOIA requests to unveil like shocking things in the government, which is really cool. Which is like your right as an American citizen. This is literally just retweets. So like, come on, actually have something. He doesn't really tweet until there's a, I guess a. Yeah, no, these are all retweets. Lame. Anyway, where was I going with that? So yeah, that's why I'm like looking into FOIA requests, and I thought, why don't I do a FOIA request to the FCC? But the FCC doesn't have all the birth dates. This guy, N0SSC, does have data on hams, but I don't have data going back 30 years. I have data going back 2 years from N0SSC. But the world may never know. It's a big research project that I simply don't have the time to like handle, but the thing I'm worried about a young ham is like in the future, as these 55 and 65 and et cetera, this is, you know, looking 20, 30 years in the future, they will be passing on and, you know, causing like causing is the wrong term. I'm trying to be politically correct, but, you know, ham radio will be in dire straits because like there are hundreds of thousands of hams that are, you know, at this age. And then if we don't have any ingress of new hams at all ages, not just young people, but like at all ages. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is there a real problem here? Or is it always been a retiree's, an old person's hobby? Like, has this bump always stayed the same over every year? So if I close my eyes and all of a sudden this was 1975, oh, it's the same exact age curve. Oh, 1922. Oh, same exact age curve. Then there's no problem. Like it's literally, then you can kind of paint amateur radio as generally a geriatrics or a retirees or an old person's, an aged person's, an elderly person's hobby. And I don't really know why that is. And that would be the next thing to do, is explain why there are so many, why amateur radio is dominated by the older generations and not any younger generations. That could be technology. I wonder if other things like flying planes is dominating, or car racing or something, like to see different age demographics and different kinds of hobbies. So that's what's on my mind. You know what else is on my mind? Learning CW. Where's my what's on my mind right now is fine. Oh, I always have my pocket chap, my chip stack. This is very important. Ah, yes, much better. Okay, so furries, Shudder. It's actually like I would recommend you take a listen to that podcast, even if you hate politics. It doesn't really have to do with it. The Worst Year Ever podcast about the furry conventions, because it's like it opened my eyes to like kind of the introverts, a new way for introverts to like find their niche. So we have comments. Clagwell with W7KVA, license 1985. Thank you for that data. You're my first data point, and then I guess I'm my first, and then you're my second. But us furries are everywhere. Hey, we got a furry in the audience. Memorial Hamnets, and that's always. I mean, when I got in the hobby 10 years ago, then like you look in QST actually, and I don't have a oh yeah, I do. Ugh. I think almost every article of QST has like a memorial. And it's like somewhere in the back. Yeah, silent keys. So like these are all of the, I assume, members of the ARRL who have passed away. Maybe not. Maybe some of these aren't members of ARRL, but the ones next with a diamond next to them. Oh, for crying out loud. Why didn't nobody tell me I had the wrong camera on? Page full of silent keys. I imagine there's like 200 or something on here. I can't count. Diamond is life member, and then formal call sign. So like, I guess people who have had expired call signs. So this is every month. Like these are mostly, I'm assuming, predominantly predominantly ARRL members, right? So, and it's really sad. Like that's a lot of people. That's a lot of knowledge and expertise. But such is life. And some of the call signs I recognize, which is like, oh. Anyway, thinking happy thoughts. Cladwell, you say retirees have time and spendable incomes, and equipment's too expensive for young folks. Well, I have a full-time job, and my wife does too, and she bought me this radio over here. Is it on? No, I don't plug it in. And I have expendable income to like buy this nice keyboard, and even I bought this key when I was a kid. I saved my insurance. I saved up my whatever money is. I saved my allowance, and I bought a Morse code key. And that was when I was. I mean, you can go back and see the video of the K8RA paddle. Antennas were pretty cheap, and obviously my parents bootstrapped me for like any HF radio stuff or any radio stuff because I didn't have that kind of money. But like for little things like cables, wires, Morse code keys, antennas, like I definitely was able to like afford that myself with allowances. And then I got like a summer job and then a job at the university. So I had some like a little bit of income. So, but sure, ham radio equipment is expensive, but so is like driving cars, and so is building computers, and so is, I mean, the only hobbies that aren't expensive is like, I don't know, bird watching and hiking and biking. Well, hiking mostly because you got to pay for shoes, but biking, you have an expensive bike. Everything could get expensive. So it's definitely no excuse for young people. I feel like that's my 1,000-mile high opinion. It's not really a research fact. So, and like you said, like $25 bay of things. It's very easy to get into the hobby, and even these radios are the $1,000 radios are world price and something that'll last forever. And you can, the other thing is like these ham radios, like I can sell this for $900. My wife bought it for about $950. It will be at $900 for the rest of my life. Like it is like one of those, it's like a brick of gold. It will never depreciate until, I don't know, war happens and hams are forced to surrender their equipment or whatever. So the Hayward Radio Club Facebook page. I'm going to look it up. I think that's it. There's another one. Group page. Balloon. Hey y'all, HF. Huh. Well, I'll look into it unless you have a direct link, but I'll do some research on that at a later date, so I don't bore you guys with my scrolling. So, I had my FOIA page, but then I had my cell phone number on there, so I don't want people to like get that. Actually, if you do get my cell phone number, I don't hesitate to call or text. I hate spammers. I get a lot of spammers, and it's annoying. So, yeah, that is that. Yeah, hiking can get expensive. I mean, look at shoes and look at... I mean, if you sign up for... Even running is expensive. Like, go try a marathon. Like, You gotta get a gym membership. You gotta get some nice shoes. Keep up your training. It's expensive in time, and then to actually buy a marathon ticket, like to run in a marathon, it's like $20 at least. And then some of the bigger ones, like I don't know, New York Marathon, Boston Marathon, those are pretty expensive. So I don't know. That's what's on my mind. Let's talk about Morse code. So I just want to like do sending practice because freaking stupid. I was doing this for like almost half an hour yesterday, and I still cannot get a run in, like a perfect score. Let me blow this up real big. I gotta switch over. Turn on the radio for background dits. I think that should be loud enough. Okay. So, if you haven't seen Iambic Master, it is a thing that I use with a WinKeyer. And my key plugged in to the WinKeyer. And then, yeah, I'm going to make this not constantly go out of focus all the time. Configure video, advanced settings, device, autofocus. Cool. I'm gonna make this a little bigger too. Move you over here. I love the letters V. Another cool thing, if I actually change the speed, it'll change the WinKeyer speed, so I don't have to like tune it. So if I go really fast. Also, I have like a lens cleaning cloth, and it's actually keeping it pretty sturdy, but I still put like a hand on it. And I noticed I was on it so long last night, like my hand smelled like nasty brass, because this is raw brass, and when your skin oils interact with the brass, it creates an acid. And I just learned this like on YouTube some time ago, that you can smell. And so it's like if you handle a bunch of pennies, it's the same thing. Brass has got a lot of copper in it. Copper creates this oxalic acid, I think. Now I gotta look it up. Why hand smell when handle coin? Why do coins make your hand smell funny? Reaction of oils, copper, iron. Skin cause. What is this? Formaldehyde? This is not how science works. 1-octanthione. That's the one. 1-octanthione. No, it's own. Smell of metals and blood coming in contact with skin. Smell of metal, no. Ketone. Well, today you learn. Today, the more you know. That's the thing. Cool. Anyway. So yeah, I need to like varnish this thing or do something nice to it. Anyway, let's try to not go that fast. 20 words per minute. I was going really slow, and even then it wasn't working for me. So the point is you have to send exactly what it says. Like if you mess up, it doesn't go on to the next one. Messed up. So you're going to hear me bang on the table a lot, and hopefully my WinKeyer doesn't break. Sounds like it'll be fine. All right. Yeah, there was too much space there. Yep. Nope. I'm learning pro signs on the fly. Let me know if you can't or can hear this, and if I need to scoot the radio closer. If any of my 3 people are watching, want to comment on that on the audio. On the audio. Try the whole thing again. Nope. That's G, right? There is a time you can. I think you can wait as long as you want between letters, but we'll find out. I gotta remember 8 is da da da. Did it? Ha! Crap. Yeah, that is 8. Gotta do the call signs again. Let me just do. 82 is like 73, but like a palindrome. Nope. Nope. Dang it! That W was a miss almost. Nope! That was backwards. That was backwards again. Stop. Freaking heck, it did it again. Nope. So if you actually send errors, what I'm not doing this here because it's not a real person, but if you send an error, like it's call signs in for Oscar Golf Whiskey. Oh, I send a 5, so I send a lot of, like a bunch of dits to say error, 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 I messed up. And I will probably try to do that this time. Kind of like that. Yeah. Why do I keep sending G instead of W? Or W instead of G? Again. Nope. Oh. I did it! Woo! That was exciting. All right. I got one. Score 33.2, 7.2%. So I don't know how the scoring works. There's not a readme with this, but I think it's like how much of those letters were wrong over how much of them were right, or the other way around. So that's funny. That was legit the first time I got this perfect. Mid-80s shortwave listening was extremely interesting. Yeah, you have that's probably the most salient or not salient, the most hitting point is back in the day there was not a communication system like ham radio, like CB radio, and that's why it was super popular. And also you have this after the war, all of these surplus gear, all this surplus stuff, very cheaply available, and a lot of people coming from the war going into radio manufacturers like Collins and Swan and Drake and all that stuff, making really cool stuff. If I got my dates right, I think it's a sort of right. Which made it really fun and awesome because it was a communication system you could do around the world and all that stuff. And it wasn't just because it was an esoteric, like antique sort of thing. It was the science. Now it is an esoteric, nostalgic, like antique sort of thing. Like there is not that much technology in this radio over here that is like groundbreaking in terms of like the science of radio telecommunications. Software defined radios been here for years. What else is there? A band scope, like I mean, have you seen a spectrum analyzer in the last like 30 or 40 years? Like now we have that on there, but it's available. Like that's obviously a thing. But there's nothing like shocking. Now, sure, FT8 might be a groundbreaking thing, but that is still a niche like mode. It's not really applicable to the other 7 billion people out there, as opposed to, you know, what's in here. This is a scientific marvel of the last 10 years. iPhone X, and probably should like say hi to my wife. So that's what makes it kind of hard for people to get into, because or to even know about it. It's not hard to get into ham radio. It's just hard to like know that it's there. And then once you know that it's there, is it something that interests you? Probably not. But I have so much fun with it because look at me. I'm learning the most oldest form of radio communication, and I'm having blast with it. And that's why I'm doing this whole video thing to say like, oh, I did it! Ah! And then, you know, go on to the next one and get a little better. So you're sending 8. Nope. Nope. Messed up. Okay. So maybe if I send all these E's, that's a bad thing. So I'll try not to send any more E's, but that's kind of it. Most of the folks are 4x4 clubs, cycling, preppers, etc. Yes, prepping is like the number one ham today. Like there are 700,000 hams, and it's constantly going up because prepping is super popular. Like it's super popular in ham radio. It's not like it's a niche hobby. Like prepping arguably is a hobby, even though people will argue like I'm doing it to save my family, and it's like literally strategic element. But it honestly, it has all of the hallmarks of a hobby: community, goals, and like lack of necessity. Like you don't need to prep, even though you think you need to prep. People don't need to do ham radio, and there are legitimately people who think there is a need, like think that there's a world need for ham radio because of emergency communications and whatever. But like that's not the point. The point is it's a hobby, and I'll argue all day about the service versus hobby thing. It's a hobby. It's a hobby for a lot of people. Is it a service on a very, very small percentage of the time that ham radio is listed in the world for hurricanes and earthquakes and stuff. Even for a very small percentage of said hurricanes and earthquakes. Like I was a part of the Joplin tornadoes, and I saw like firsthand how ham radio played a role in the recovery and immediate next couple minutes after the tornado happened. And I know it's super important. But ham radio or emergency communications is a tiny little piece of that. You've got such a broad hobby to talk about there. So I just love rambling and not doing Morse code. Dang it! Jock. Who are you, Jock? It's a weird name. Oh, it's John, sorry. Oop. Boom! Get her done. Derp. Hey, we're gonna talk to my wife really quick. LMAO. She just got back from Fort Worth on business travel, and she lost the car in the car park at the airport. She loves to like tell me these things. Also, like I just noticed I want to go back. If you can like see, oh yeah, you can see the Face ID scanner right there. Ooh, it's like really bright actually. Huh. In addition to your podcasting internet on HF, maybe you've already done so. I don't actually have an antenna at my house. I have this 7300. It's like a travel radio. I take it camping and stuff, but like I do have my station W0M, not my station. My company has a station, Whiskey Zero Mike Alpha, but it's 30 minutes away, and I typically leave work at work, and I never go back, until the next morning. So I'm planning on putting an antenna up. The problem is, and actually I'll look at the plans real quick without trying to show off too much of my private information. Boom, got you right there. But I can't use this tree, so that's a no-go. I could also do an inverted V type thing. That could be a thing. Make these even longer, attach them to the peak of my roof. But then I have kind of a horizontal inverted V. I could put some posts up, make a little delta loop, like so. Nope, I wanted that. But the one thing I really have a problem with is noise, because I mean, look at where there's inches between the houses, and I have LED bulbs in my own house, and they're pretty noisy. But a loop on ground, which would be like this dimension, and I've read a lot about these loops on ground, and feed it to my basement or something, would kill a lot of the noise and keep a lot of the signal. So it's quite an antenna. I can't use transmitting, but if I get a vertical antenna like right here, with a little array, or maybe put a vertical up into the tree, or do any of those like other things, like whatever, here's all the antennas that I'm going to put in my house. Like, actually, like considered asking my neighbor for like their tree over here, but I don't think I want to be like that guy. So yeah. Don't know how it got there. I don't know how it got there. What rope are you talking about? Get a camouflage paracord rope, and then I don't see a rope. I can't even type hi. All right, so let's try this again. That is 8. Good job, me. That's also 8, but that's not the right one. Freaking heck. Oh, I didn't put enough space. This is different software. The problem is this software, Iambic Master, requires the use of a WinKeyer or similar, like an Arduino. You can use an Arduino keyer, but I'm lazy, so I bought the WinKeyer. that interfaces over USB that shows the text on the screen, which is ideal. CW-COM, I'll just recommend as well. If you have a USB to serial converter, which is on the floor right now, you can literally plug the key into a serial jack in a certain configuration and get it to transmit CW on here. And it actually creates a side tone on the desktop. The thing I haven't been able to do is create a side tone on desktop using the WinKeyer. Nothing exists like that unless somebody can tell me. So what I'm using is my ICOM 7300 in not transmit mode. See, there's no lights on and whatnot. As my side tone generator, and it's the stupidest thing, but like it's all for the views, right? No, there's no views. I have 5 people watching me. This isn't views. This is just me having fun. So, oh, that's better actually. Stupid F! God dang it. That's actually gonna be kind of hard. Come on. Those are not L's. There we go. Somebody said on Reddit that sending 2 L's at the same time was super hard. Oh my gosh, it is. It is so hard. Where are you? Freaking Radio Oklahoma. Where are you? What does it sound like? Nope. A weemba wap, 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 a weemba wap. A weemba wap. A weemba wap. How to play In the Jungle on Morse code. We're just having fun here, y'all. Can I change my side tone, freaking tone with a button? Ah. Come on. I don't even know how to sing on Morse code. A weemba wop. A weemba wop, a weemba wop, a weemba wop, a weemba wop, a weem. How do you... Whatever. Let's go back to 650. It's my favorite tone. What were we doing? No. I don't know why I scrolled by and I saw N8WA, and that's why I stopped. Why is it so hard to not send the letter F? Or 7. Oh no, it's FL! Ah! Ah! I'm giving the stream so many stupid highlights, it's not even funny. I need a pen to like write these down. Why doesn't the pen work? Alright, we're all good now. Okay. If you keep sending F every time I mess up, you're going to send a lot of Fs. Why am I sending 8? Well, it messed up anyway, so whatever. Nope! I need to like work on that technique of maybe an L should be sent like a flop instead of a pinch. One of the ways you send a C is to literally just pinch the two, because when you have both of them connected at the same time, and so if you make a C, you hit the da first and then hold down the dit until you're done making the C. Like so. The other option, the other ability, and this is called sideswiping, and they do this because some keys are just a single key, and it'll go between two contacts, either this or that, and you can't do both at the same time. So you go da 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 like this. So an L would be. It's so hard to send an L. As opposed to like that. Makes sense. So a C is very easily pinch, or that, or like a period. See which one takes more effort. Sideswiping obviously, but like some keys are made like that, and some operators prefer that technique. Maybe for the L. F in the chat for the one person who's in the chat, which is me. Let's say Levy. Too slow. Dang it. So you saw there, I did a kind of a... There's a thing in iambic paddles called memory. Like, even though I can get through a C really fast, or like the period, for example, which shows up as a number sign. It has memory of what it heard last. And so you can send something like, what was I sending? The K. Really quickly, sometimes. Maybe I'm proving myself wrong, because... maybe it doesn't go as fast as I thought. But they're like I remember playing with CW Con. There's iambic memory where you can like go, and it will have a memory that you did hit the dit, even though it's still processing the DA, or it's sending the DA. Oh, God, I failed this. I got 2 out of 10. Go me. I'm done. And my wife's about to come home, so all right. For you two people left, thanks for hanging out this whole time. What else do I want to talk about? Go hang out. Go check out Youngsters on the Air. We are officially official. I do need to make a GoFundMe. I kept saying that. Why isn't no F GoFundMe ham that one. I kept saying that this goal was to get out to our 30 campers, which is not true. This is to get to our 20 campers. This is to actually, we need to fill this. My face is in the way. Duh. We need to fill this green line so that we have an actual camp. And that is said, like there's $4,000 on top of this. So we are effectively set for the camp. Thanks to KM9G, who donated the $4,000 for matching up to $4,000. So I think he's going to be out $4,000, too much to our benefit. Oh man, even yesterday I was talking about how amateur radio clubs haven't been really donating much, but look who it is. Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Amateur Radio Club. Thank you very much. But so it says it literally right here, and I should know better. The $5,000 is needed to complete the funding for our $54,000 budget for 20 campers. We need at least $11,000 to raise that from 20 to 30. And arguably, we should have had that as a goal, but I think in ham radio, and this is our first rodeo, it probably wasn't an ideal goal to have $11,000 because we just never achieve it with our. We are not marketing professionals, you know. We just set it at that. But if we go over, that means more campers get to come. And if we meet our 5,000, that's 5,000 plus 4,000, so that's 8,000. So automatically we are only 2,000 away if we get to the $5,000 goal from reaching the 30 camper limit. 30 camper goal. That's the correction. Sorry if I confused anybody out there, if you're even actually watching. So yeah, go check it out, donate, and then all the information is youthontheair.org, not youtube.com. All right, with that, I have literally nothing else to talk about today other than, I don't know, we can talk about furry culture, or we can talk about how N0SSC is doing a Morse code stream on demystifying Morse code with the Long Island CW Club. Getting in my lane there, are you, N0SSC? Who has way more subscribers than me, by the way. So this will be really cool. I don't know if I'm watching it because I'm going to Disney World this week. And that's the other thing. I'm on vacation all next week. So I ain't doing a lick of CW. And I'll be gone. So hopefully hey, look, one person watching my stream. How about that? 180p only. This one here. One person watching my stream. It's not me. It's somebody out there who doesn't comment. Yeah, go check out Hoshnasi, Hoshnasi. He's probably one of the best YouTube streamer by a long shot. I met the guy, went camping with him. Really fun, really exciting personality to be around. He's not been in ham radio as long as many of us have, and so a lot of his stuff he learns, and it's so fascinating to watch somebody learn. Not like the 100 Watts in a Wire podcast, like to see somebody learn a new thing is like, oh, I did that. Oh, let me help you. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm learning Morse code, right? So yeah, check that out. And I'll say 7-3 and sayonara to my two viewers out there now. And thanks for watching. And if you watch the replay, good luck. I make some highlights for the stupid things that I do, and I hope those are somewhat enjoyable. And then I'll see you. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow or something. I don't know. All right, 73, everybody. Thanks for watching.